The girlies are outside, okay? Tonight is the start of the second annual Athlos NYC, a women's-only track and field meet. And here to tell us more about it is the founder of Athlos, Alexis Ohanian. Alexis, so good to see you once again. Stephen A. and I, very excited to get into this.
Good to see you, sir.
I'll start us off here with what inspired you to create the Athlos competition?
You know, these athletes are incredible. They are the top viewed sport during the Olympics, and then for some reason they disappeared. And just like I saw in women's soccer 5 years ago starting Angel City, I saw an opportunity to make these women the superstars they are on the biggest stage possible year-round. So it is the least they deserve, and it's the start of what we're building as a Formula One for track and field. We want to make the sport a top-flight sport year-round.
Alex, I'm curious to know, like you said, you came up with this idea. Congrats to you, props to you on that. Did these ladies come to you and talk to you about it? And if so, what did they say? And what level of inspiration did that play in you ultimately deciding to do this and put this together?
Well, first, Stephen, all my friends call me Alexis. But second, you know, I don't build anything unless I talk to the very best athletes possible. So credit to Tara Davis-Woodhall, Gabby Thomas, Sha'Carri Richardson. These ladies took my call a year and a half ago, answered all of my questions, some smarter than others, and they really helped lay out a vision for what this sport could be outside the Olympics. So we're building it with them. And in fact, they're all shareholders in the league as well, because we think that equity alignment is going to lead to even more greatness.
That part is huge because it's an investment not just in the sport, but an investment in them, from them. That's incredible. And speaking of great feats, there's an event happening around NYC, including Times Square tomorrow night. That's insane. I mean, how do you put that together, and what is happening in Times Square to kick it off?
Well, one of the things Tara wanted, she's the best long jumper in the world, gold medalist, star-studded, and a dynamo. And she said, I want to be the center of the universe for my event. And so with some help from New York City, we're able to shut down Times Square tonight and put on an event where, yes, 6 of the best long jumpers in the world are going to compete. The top 3 will then compete at the main event at Icon Friday night for their chance to win the crown and record prize money. And we do it big here in New York. I'm a Fort Greene kid, so we got to come correct for these ladies.
Alexis, what event are you looking forward to most?
Oh, God, how do you pick just one? I mean, look, having the long jump in Times Square is going to be real exciting. The sprinters, I'm a big fan of all the sprinters, but you know what? Thanks to Cash App, we have a $250,000 cash prize available if someone sets a world record. And Faith Kipyegon in the mile is statistically going to be the best bet for that. And I saw her last night. I told her, I said, I'll be happy for you to take my money if you set that world record at Athlos. So I'll be paying very close attention to the mile this year.
Oh, I love that you mentioned Faith. I was in Paris when she went for breaking 4 to beat the 4-minute mile, which has not been done by a woman ever. She broke her own record, but just came up short. But she is incredible and a perfect example of what you mean by investing here. You started investing in women's sports by backing Angel City FC in 2019. Massive fan of Angel City if you're out in LA. But you always say that all of these investments in women's sports, not charity.
Never once have I said it, and nor do I believe it. And it's funny, back in 2019, when I predicted billion-dollar franchises in women's sports, most of the people in my replies told me I was an idiot. They said, no one cares about women's sports. You're a total fool. You're going to lose all your money. And I saved all of their tweets because I love feasting on their tears every time we hit another milestone. Angel City, it cost $1 million to start that expansion. That was the expansion fee back then. Denver, most recently, NWSL paid $150 million just for an expansion fee. That's pretty good growth in my business, in any business. And so 5 years in, I feel more confident than ever that the business of women's sports is big business. It is not charity. Yes, I've got 2 amazing daughters, but you know, even the best people have had, you know, a not great effect on the sport when they treat it as charity. This is a business. That's what these athletes want. They want excellence, and we're trying to give it to them.
To encapsulate this portion of the conversation, what exactly, if there's anything specific, more so than anything else, that you're hoping this will accomplish, what would that be?
You know, I want to put a spotlight on these athletes, and I want to let people know, especially in the run-up to LA 28, we're obviously hosting an Olympics here in the United States. This is going to be the premier team-based track and field league. And so if you love following, you know, Ferrari and Mercedes in their Formula Ones, you're going to love following Athlos, because we are going to have the place where the very best to do it are going to sprint through some of the biggest cities in the world. So I can't wait. And I'm grateful, obviously, ESPN Plus is going to be where you can find it. We're expecting many more. We had 3 million tune in last year. I'm expecting many more this year.
And I wish I kept up with track and field when I was a kid. I wasn't fast enough, so I just flapped my gums instead of my feet. Let's talk a little women's sports for a second, because we saw your sister-in-law, Venus Williams, return to the tennis court this summer. Any chance Serena might return?
It's a conversation that comes up more often than you might think in our household. Yeah. I think she is as great as she is as an athlete, the GOAT. She's an even greater mom.
She's the GOAT.
And she loves being a mother. She's still, she's building her businesses. She's building her brands. I don't know if there's another chance of her getting back on the court, but I'm sure if she did come back, she'd put a lot of ladies on notice real quick. Yeah. But no news here yet.
Okay.
I'm wondering about this too. She's so competitive as far as I'm concerned. She's the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time. I guess I would wonder, what do you think would be the ultimate incentive or the ultimate impetus for her coming back? Because she wants to win more, she wants to prove more, or because she has those two beautiful daughters and she wants to continue to use yet another avenue to show to what greatness is all about and how you could be the greatest that you could be. What would be the ultimate incentive for her in that regard?
Gosh, I can't answer that as well as she can, but my guess would be, when you've operated at that level for that long, you have come to expect, for better or for worse, you've come to expect delivering at such an exceptional level, with such pressure, with such stress. She lives off of it, she thrives on it, and there's just some part of you that craves it. It's the same reason. I have to tell my daughters, Papa's never going to retire. He could have retired years ago. He's never going to, because he just needs to keep building. And I think for her, on some level, there is always going to be that desire. It's just, the downside of being an athlete is that sometime, father time catches up with us all. But if anyone could do it, it would be her. And we'll see.